Hello again, this is UML Operator. Ever have one of those days where you wonder what you're working on or what your team is working on or what you need to focus on? In this session, we're going to be talking about exploring, search, recent category, recent diagrams, recent element, more importantly, recent tasks. So let's get right into it. So Explorer panel, it's every tab, right? From here, I'm going to go to search, hit the down arrow. We're going to go to recent diagrams. So in recent diagrams, I have filter turned on. You can turn that off. I like it on, so I'm going to turn it on. You notice at the top of the bar, the number 3. This is default. It's looking 3 days back. You want to look at the sequel? Click this little button right here. You can see it's looking in the diagram table, and it's looking for a modified date, looking back from this date and time to whatever value is in the search term, and it's the number 3. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. You can play with SQL on your own, right? So I can look 3 days back. I can look 7 days back, make sure I refresh. I can look 1 day back, make sure I refresh, and there we go, right? Now don't play around with anything else. Basically, it's in diagram searches. You can play with other searches. I'll have a video on the search engine and search capabilities. And then you have various SQL configurations. And this is looking at recently modified diagrams. Don't play around with this one right now. You can play around it separately. We're just looking at recent diagrams that have been worked on. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the down arrow, recent elements, objects, elements that have been worked on. Again, the default is 3 days back from whatever the current date and time it is. You're able to filter out, I want to look at only class elements. You're able to filter out what type of elements. If you've got filtering turned on, the author was, I want to look at everything that the development group's working on. I'm able to do that. Sort by date and time. And you can see if you turn on SQL, it's looking in the T object table for these elements, all right? So that's a very fast way to find out what recent elements. So if you're looking for, well, what elements was I working on, UML? These are the elements that I was working on. But it doesn't necessarily tell me what I should be working on. It's only what I worked on over the last 3 days or whatever this value is. So let's go to Explore, hit the down arrow, Recent Tasks. So here I've got recent tasks, and if it's a large team, this is going to be a much greater result set. I want to look at what I'm supposed to be working on, all right? So you can see how the SQL works. It's basically in this active task, it's looking at the whatever's less than 100%. They're not done yet. And it's looking at the start date and the end date and giving some ranges, right? So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. That just shows you how this works. So in this particular case, I am looking at Gantt entries. So if you look in notes in the lower right, when I select things, it tells me the description of the task at hand. So this is very powerful to look at. Well, what active tasks do I have that I'm supposed to be working on? What percentage of completion am I on? And what is the end date that is supposed to be done? At any point, I can double click on one of these results. I'm going to open JavaScript here. And in this particular case, this is what the description is for the work assignment, for what the effort, right? And I have been assigned to this. And I can put any history in here, such as whatever the date is, and then put historical notes here for the project team, the stakeholders. I can also, I'm going to go back, I can also reassign this. Like, I'm not going to get this done, I need help. I was collaborating with another team member, and I'm just going to choose this one, and I'm going to go ahead and assign it to that. Collaborating with them, hey, I'm 66% done on this, and I need you to pick it up, finish the analysis, right? So then I can hit apply. I'm going to go ahead and close. If I do search results, you can see the assigned resource. Now if I hit this, now the assigned resource is designer, and I have 3 items that I have to complete. by this date and time. So you're able to manage your tasks very quickly. I'll cover in another session Gantt views, how to build Gantt views, how to create work for yourself, how to manage work. I could go into this and say, well, I'm not going to be done by this date. I'm going to be done in 2 days. I'm still 75% done. I can put expected hours, allocated hours, and then when I'm 100% done, time expended on the effort. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and close it. So now if I hit refresh, now I have a new end date for this particular task of the 20th of July, right? So I'll show you how to do Gantt's, a work assignment, but now you know how to get to recent to be able to find work, diagrams you recently worked on, elements you recently worked on, and tasks that you should be focused on and working on, potentially relevant to those diagrams and elements. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you're able to keep up with all the work that we're doing together. All right, leave comments down below, good or bad. Let me know what you think, what you need to learn. How's it going for you? Other than that, I'll talk to you all later, and happy modeling.